Welcome to the podcast, A Life of a Woman, where we empower women to live in harmony with their menstrual cycles. I'm your host, Callie, and today we are exploring the menstrual phase of the menstrual cycle. This is the phase that most of us are very familiar with, but it's often misunderstood. The menstrual phase it's not just about dealing with cramps or curling up on the couch with a heat bag. Both are absolutely valid though, if that's what you want to do. The menstrual phase can be a deeply restorative time when your body and mind are primed for rest and reflection. Reflection, relaxation. I'm really struggling with that this morning. So this is your body's winter during your menstrual phase. That's your body's winter. So it's an opportunity to slow down, turn inwards, and connect with yourself on a deeper level. In today's episode, we will break down what's happening in your body during this phase and how you can align your life with it. We'll talk about the best exercises, foods, work habits, self-care practices, and relationship strategies to help you not only survive, but thrive during your period. It feels pretty funny that I'm recording this podcast on a hot 40-degree day in Adelaide, South Australia, while I'm talking about the opposite, the wintry menstrual phase. But I feel like they're kind of aligned because, like the menstrual phase, I will be going slow today in this heat. I will be taking it easy. So grab a cup of tea or, on a hot day like today, a cool, refreshing mocktail, homemade juice, or a smoothie to keep cool and get cozy. And let's dive in. If you haven't listened to episode 2 about cycle syncing, do that first. Pause this one and go and listen to episode 2. That will give you a bigger picture of how these different phases all connect to each other. Episode 3, 4, and 5 are also where I talk about the other phases. So, episode 3 is the follicular phase, episode 4 is the ovulatory phase, and episode 5 is the luteal phase. So, that will help you understand the 4 phases in detail listening to those ones. But I will just summarize the term cycle syncing, which is about aligning your lifestyle and activities in life to your menstrual cycle so that you're recognizing your body's different energy levels and needs throughout the month, and you are matching or aligning your life to match that. So there's no more pushing yourself to do things that you just don't have the energy for. So things like exercise, it feels easier and it's more effective because you're actually doing what your body is needing you to do at that time. So that's how this menstrual phase kind of fits into that bigger cycle syncing picture. This is why we do cycle syncing or aligning our lifestyle with our cycles. And so when you're in your menstrual phase, this is, we're going to go into detail now about those lifestyle activities to do. So let's start with what's happening in our bodies during the menstrual phase. So the menstrual phase marks the beginning of your cycle. And when you're counting days and tracking your cycle, and it lasts about 3 to 7 days for most women. During this time, your body is shedding the lining of your uterus, leading to your period. So that is coming out with your period. That's what your period is. That uterus lining is being removed, starting again. So, however, during this phase, your hormone levels are at their lowest. So that's why we say it's like a wintry phase. Your hormone levels are at their lowest, especially estrogen and progesterone, which is what can lead to the lower energy levels, increased sensitivity, and those PMS symptoms. So, this phase is usually the one that's associated with a lot of the physical symptoms like cramps, fatigue, or headaches, as well as the emotional shifts like moodiness or feeling more introverted. But it's also a time when your body naturally encourages you to rest, reflect, and recharge. So, think of this as your inner winter, a time to conserve your energy, nourish yourself, and set the stage for the new cycle ahead. When you honor the need for rest and reflection during this phase, you'll feel more balanced and energized as you move into the next phases. So it can feel counterintuitive to not push yourself in this phase and to actually let yourself rest. But by doing that, you're honoring what your body needs and you're going to have more energy and balance for the rest of your cycle. So, as you can see from that explanation of what's happening in our bodies during the menstrual phase, you can see that the menstrual phase is typically considered as the start of your cycle because it's really clear as to when it starts. So, it's easier to count and track the days. So, that's why the first day of your period is typically numbered as the first day of your cycle. However, when you look at what is happening in the body, the menstrual phase is actually at the end of the cycle because it's shedding the uterine lining because there was no pregnancy. So physically, your cycle starts with the follicular phase, as that's when it's starting to build that uterine lining and prepare to release an egg ready for, preparing your body for a pregnancy. So that's where it can get a little bit confusing or kind of shift your perspective on things a bit when you actually understand that the period is the end of your body's cycle, even though we might track it as the first. So just, yeah, something to be mindful of. Now that you understand more about the menstrual phase, let's talk about how to work with the body's natural rhythms in this phase. So, I'm going to cover exercise, food, work, self-care, and relationships. So, let's start with exercise because I always recommend matching your exercise with your cycle as the first lifestyle activity. Because this is, often the lifestyle area that we have the most control over, and we can experience immediate and long-term benefits. So, yeah, if you're new to aligning your life with your cycle, start with exercise. So, exercise during the menstrual phase should be all about honoring your body's needs for rest and gentle movement. This is not the time to push through those high intensity workouts. And in fact, doing so can leave you feeling even more drained and add stress to your body. So, stress to your body creates cortisol, the stress hormone, which is also really good for storing fat. So, pushing yourself when you should be resting or exercising intensely for longer than 30 minutes can add stress to your body, therefore increasing your cortisol hormone and therefore increasing fat storage. So, hence why when you start aligning your lifestyle and exercise to your cycle, you may experience more effective weight maintenance or weight loss without exerting yourself because you're actually doing what your body needs at the time. So, some gentle exercise that are great for this phase include some gentle yoga, focus on restorative poses or flows designed to ease cramps and promote relaxation. Maybe some yin yoga, which is like holding the poses for a lot longer to really get that deep stretch in. Walking is another great exercise. I recommend walking in every phase of your cycle. A light walk can help boost circulation and ease discomfort. So even if it's just a little waddle, just moving your body in that really easy way can help you. Stretching as well is another one. As mentioned, like yin yoga is a great style of kind of yoga and stretching mixed together, but incorporate gentle stretches to release tension and increase mobility. So this could also help with things like back pain, which is a PMS symptom that you might experience. And meditative movement is another great one. So practices like Tai Chi are excellent for harmonizing your body and mind, just that slow, mindful movement. If you're feeling especially fatigued, it's perfectly okay to skip exercise altogether and prioritize rest. We are not about overexerting or pushing ourselves unnecessarily. Your body will thank you for listening to it. That's what I'm saying. You're going to feel so much better next phase. Do those more intense exercises in your next phases. However, if you are experiencing PMS symptoms like cramps and headaches, moving your body gently can help with pain reduction. So if you do feel that little bit of energy or you're feeling a bit PMSy, do do that gentle movement if you can. All right, let's talk about food. So, nutrition during the menstrual phase should focus on replenishing nutrients, reducing inflammation, and supporting your body's natural detox process. So, some key foods to include are big obvious one, iron-rich foods because you're losing a lot of iron through your blood loss. So, help replenish that iron that you're losing from your period. So, some great options are spinach and lentils and red meat if you're an omnivore. Magnesium rich foods are also great for this time because magnesium is really great for reducing cramps and supporting muscle relaxation and supporting better sleep as well. And I love magnesium rich foods personally because they are things like dark chocolate, nuts, and seeds. Like, yum. You could make some beautiful chocolate bark. So just melt some dark chocolate, put it on like a tray lined with baking paper, and then just sprinkle some nuts and seeds on top. Put it in the freezer, let it go hard, and then you've got some beautiful dark chocolate bark with nuts and seeds sprinkled through it. Great. More foods that we should be including are omega-3 fatty acids. So, healthy fats are definitely our friends for, especially for women, menstruating women. We need those healthy fats. So, you can find them in flax seeds and walnuts. So, maybe add them to your dark chocolate bark. Also, salmon. Can help with reducing inflammation and easing period pain. So, eat those fatty acids. Hydrating foods. So, keep hydrated with water rich foods like cucumber, watermelon, and soups. But the main foods that you want to be eating in this time, or the main type of meals to include, are warm, nourishing meals. So think things like soups, stews, broths, herbal teas, things that are really gentle on your digestive system. But also, you're in your winter phase, so you want to be eating those warm foods to warm you up and just help you feel more cozy and nourished. So avoid caffeine and alcohol if possible, as these can exacerbate your cramps and worsen your mood swings. So instead, opt for those herbal teas like chamomile, ginger, raspberry leaf is a great one for during your period. Always recommend raspberry leaf. So these herbal teas are really great for that added support, comfort, and digestive support. Now we go into matching our work life. And I know this can be a tricky one if you don't necessarily have the flexibility with planning your work days. But see how you go. So during this menstrual phase, your brain naturally shifts into a more reflective and intuitive state. So you might find it harder to focus on high energy or outward facing tasks, but this is the perfect time to step back and prioritize rest and planning. So, if you can, align your work life with this phase by reflecting and reviewing. So, take stock of what's working and what's not in your projects, goals, or routines. Doing some strategic planning. So, use this time to set intentions and outline what you want to focus on in the next cycle or the next month or coming months. Doing doing the low energy tasks if possible. So tackle admin work, proofreading, or quiet independent tasks that don't require much interaction. If possible, this is the time where you kind of just sit at your desk and shut the door and give yourself that alone time to just get work done that feels not too heavy for you. But if possible, create white space for yourself. Delegate or delay. So yeah, if possible, postpone high stakes meetings or presentations to another phase when your energy is higher. If you've got leave, maybe even take a day or an early minute and give yourself more white space and more time to just have that alone time and nourish yourself and rest. This phase is about listening to your inner wisdom and setting the groundwork for what's to come. So just trust the process. Even if this phase feels slower physically, emotionally, mentally, go with that. because trust me, in your upcoming phases, you are going to be on fire. All right, let's jump into self-care. So, self-care, as you can probably imagine, self-care during this phase is all about comfort and rest and restoration. So, some ideas to nourish yourself. Rest, obviously. So, allow yourself some extra sleep or downtime and just try and remove that guilt. Try and remove that guilt. You know, if you were talking to your best friend and they were feeling fatigued, PMSy, tired, you'd probably tell them to rest. So, go and rest, my friends. You also want to focus on warmth because this is our winter phase. So warmth, like heating bags, warm baths, cozy blankets, these things will they'll help to ease cramps, but also promote that relaxation. Journaling is a great one in this phase. Reflect on your emotions, your insights, your dreams. Use this kind of intuitive time to note it all down, clear out any junk, like junky emotions that's still there. Doing some body care, so gentle massage or self massage, using some calming oils like lavender or clary sage can also be deeply soothing and comforting. And disconnect. All right, your self care is about you during this phase. So disconnect, limit overstimulation by reducing screen time and stepping back from social obligations. All right, this phase is about you as much as possible. So, this is your permission slip to take it slower and honor your body's needs. And lastly, we will cover relationships. So, during the menstrual phase, you may feel less inclined to socialize, and that is perfectly okay. This is a time to nurture your closest relationships and prioritize meaningful, low energy interactions. And don't forget, your closest relationship should be with yourself. You are the only person that is there with you throughout your entire life. And if you're not prioritizing yourself, you're not going to have the energy and the patience and the love to give to others. So you are should be first and foremost your closest and highest priority relationship. So, how to approach your other relationships during this phase? Your romantic relationships. So, communicate your need for rest and ask for support. And this can strengthen intimacy and understanding. You know, just communicate, share what you need because people don't necessarily know what you need if you don't verbalize it. Your friendships, so opt for quieter catch ups or phone calls rather than group outings, or if possible, plan your catch ups for your other phases. And then your professional relationships, if you feel confident and feel like you have the support at work, just be honest about your energy levels and delegate when needed. I actually saw my friend sent me this awesome video on Instagram yesterday, and this lady will actually put a sign on the back of her chair depending on what phase she's in. And so, she had a sign that said, if you really have to talk to me, you can, but otherwise, if it can wait, please don't talk to me. I'm in my menstrual phase. Just leave me alone. So I actually loved that, and I would be the kind of person that would do that at work. So yeah, in with your relationships in this phase, it's about the deeper connection. If you're feeling emotional, use this as an opportunity to journal or talk through your feelings with someone you trust. So really just making sure that you focus on your priorities in this phase, so your priority relationships, because you have so much less energy. So that's how to align with this phase. So, cycle syncing or aligning with your cycle during the menstrual phase means fully embracing the rest and reflection. Biologically, your body is using this time to reset and prepare for the next cycle. By slowing down and honoring this process, you're not only supporting your physical health, but also cultivating a stronger connection to your inner wisdom. And you're supporting your longer term physical and emotional health. When you listen to your body's cues and align your lifestyle with this phase, you'll find that you feel way more balanced and energized throughout the rest of your cycle. So, thank you for joining me for today's episode on the menstrual phase. I hope you feel inspired to embrace this phase as an opportunity for rest, reflection, and renewal. I got there. I said that better this time. So, remember, the more you honor your body's rhythms and realize that your body is a cycle with rhythms of ebbs and flows, the more you honor that and match to that, the more balanced and empowered you'll feel in all areas of your life. So, if you are wanting to feel more balanced, nurtured, and energized throughout all phases of your cycle and other areas of your life, you know, that ripple effect that our cycle has, then you need to join my brand new program, Flow and Flourish. So, Flow and Flourish is my 4 month program helping you to find your unique cycle flow, align your lifestyle with your cycle, and create a beautiful, vibrant, healthy life. We are all starting together on January 6th, 2025. Can you believe? So it's the health program that you need for this new year, for your new year health goals, your new year lifestyle goals. This is the program that you need. It is not just about your cycle, it's about your lifestyle. So I will post the link in the show notes below, but I can't wait to greet you into that space and have us all working alongside together, learning about our unique cycles and just creating our unique lifestyle to it. Oh, I love it. So beautiful. So, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who could benefit from learning more about their cycle, and also make sure you give them the permission to rest. Put this in their ears as a hint, hint, honey, you need to be resting more. And if you want to dive deeper, check out my freebies, my Flow and Flourish program, and connect with me on social media. So you can access my freebies through my Instagram, but I'll also pop a link below. So that's all for today. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next episode of A Life of a Woman.